Will QB1 Behren Morton play in week 2? That is the question for Red Raider Nation headed into their Kent State matchup out in the 806 on Saturday morning. In today's video, we'll take a look at the week 2 injury report for your Red Raiders. Who else stands out outside of Behren Morton and his injury designation? That and much more in today's video. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Red and Black Report. Appreciate y'all tuning in to today's video, and we are getting closer to the second game of the season where Joey McGuire looks to go 2-0 for only the second time in 4 years as the Texas Tech head coach to start the season. There's a lot to discuss, including the injury report, but I'd be remiss not to thank you guys in terms of getting us to 12,500 subs. It's been a goal for really the past few months. It's the dead period during summertime, but y'all always come through when it means the most, and, well, that's why Red Raider Nation is the best. So a sincere thank you to you guys on that front. All right, enough with that. Let's jump into the injury report. You can see it on your screen right there. Unfortunately, Mike Dingle will miss the rest of the season with a leg injury, as will Quinn Joyner, and then freshman defensive lineman Dylan Singleton. Now, who is out for the Kent State game? You can see it on your screen right there. Ren Brown, Cash Cleveland, Ellis Davis, Charles Esters III. That one surprised some people for sure when they released this. Holden Hendricks, Justin Horn, Lloyd Jones III, Chapman Lewis, Dante Lindsay, and then Kaysen Long. Those are all out. Quite a few offensive linemen out for the Red Raiders, obviously from a depth perspective, but you would assume in this game you are going to use some of that depth if you are the Red Raiders. When it comes to doubtful, no names listed. And then this is where things get interesting. The questionable players for Texas Tech against Kent State. Donta Balfour, Tyrone Grant, then you've got Chris Lemons, and you've got Behren Morton and Marcus Ramon Edwards. Now, Joey McGuire, when discussing Marcus Ramon Edwards, said that they hope to have him back before Big 12 play. They were kind of hoping for Oregon State, and he would slide in to the star position and be the third string there. When it comes to probables, it's Macho Stevenson and then Chief Collins. Baller-ass name, by the way. But obviously, the big one to discuss here is Behren Morton and him being questionable. I know where I stand on this in the simple fact of if Behren Morton is healthy enough to play him. That's how I feel about it, okay? And I get it. You know, some people are saying in the comments, hey, go ahead and just sit him till Utah to make sure he's 100%. I don't think Texas Tech can afford that luxury. Reason being is this. If this team had a ton of players coming back, okay, maybe. But you have to think about it from this perspective. First and foremost, Behren Morton, his shoulder is healthy for the first time since, his redshirt freshman season, right? We're going on 2 whole calendar years here. Also, the fact that he has to keep the rhythm that he had in game number 1. I understand it's against UAPB. They are, let's just be nice, not very good at the FCS level. You are now projected, I should say, to play the worst team by many metrics in the FBS in Kent State, a team that won their first game in 22 games this past Saturday. But the thing is this, you need live in-game reps if you are Behren Morton with these playmakers that are new to this entire scheme, right? Behren Morton needs live in-game reps because he hasn't played much in this Mac Leftwich offense. Neither has the Terrence Carter Jr.'s of the world. Neither has Caleb Payday Douglas, Coy Aiken, or Reggie Virgil, right? These playmakers need live in-game reps and actually need the opportunity to do so with QB1. Not a slight at Will Hammond at all. I think if Will Hammond plays, Texas Tech dominates anyway. Like, I truly expect Texas Tech to dominate in this game. I have the Red Raiders winning 70-7. Okay, but, and that's regardless of who QB1 is. What I'm saying is long-term, right, for Texas Tech. If Behren Morton misses this week, okay, I can understand that, but he needs to play next week because you have to have him ready to go and at least have 2 games under his belt before you play Utah, a team where I was skeptical of Devin Dampier, and I understand it's only been 1 game, but they absolutely beat the you-know-what out of UCLA at home for the Bruins. Did Utah and Devin Dampier and the Utes. I mean, they look like they could be the best team in the Big 12. That being said, Texas Tech has that opportunity too to be the best team in the Big 12, but you need those live in-game reps if you are a Behren Morton to make sure that you have a good flow, a good rhythm with Mac Leftwich, the new offensive coordinator for Texas Tech, and maybe most importantly, you have a good rapport with the guys on the outside, the running backs, the offensive line. Make sure you're all good to go there because, again, once you go into Big 12 play, it's not you're starting with UCF. No disrespect to the Knights. No disrespect. But hey, you don't look very good down there in Orlando. But you got Scott Frost back. That's cool. I digress. You're starting out with Utah, a team that could win the Big 12. I don't think that would shock anybody. So you got to be ready to go from the jump. And I want as many live in-game reps as Behren Morton can possibly have in this Mac Leftwich offense before you go into the gauntlet that is the Big 12. All right, let's go ahead and put it back on the screen real quick so you guys can see once again who is out for the season. Unfortunately, Mike Dingle is out for the year with a leg injury, I should say. We all know Quentin Joyner is going to miss the year with the torn ACL. You've got Dylan Singleton out for the year as well. Some that kind of surprised me in terms of being out. I know a lot of people may have not seen this coming, but Charles Esters III is now out for this game against Kent State. You obviously have a ton of talent on that defensive line, and I think I've decided, people, let me get back on the screen here. We're going to go with the four horsemen. We are going to go with the four horsemen for the Texas Tech defensive line nickname, okay? I think it's baller. It's got hints of the Matador in there, right? Like there's a ton of Texas Tech ties to it. I absolutely love it for the starting four defensive line. Their nickname, at least on this show, spread the word on social media. It's going to be the four horsemen. So for David Bailey, Lee Hunter, Skylar Gill Howard, and Romello Height, we're calling them the four horsemen. Okay, I digress. Let me get back to that, though. You know there's a lot of talent on the defensive line. So Charles Esters missing time isn't the end of the world, although I would love to see him get some reps. You knew Chapman Lewis was going to be out. You knew the likes of Cash Cleveland was going to be out as well. So there's not a ton of surprises. The questionable aspect of things for me catches my eye, obviously outside of Behren Morton, is the fact of Donta Balfour and Tyrone Grant. Reason being is this: they are projected as the second and third string corners on Bryce Pollock's side of the field. Who backs them up in terms of Bryce Pollock if there's no Donta Balfour and Tyrone Grant? We'll see if they play on Saturday. Obviously, Texas Tech should win this game with ease. I mean, last I checked, they were some 40-some-odd point favorites, closer to 50 than 40. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. And I know some people are upset, oh, play tougher competition. This is actually a year where I'm not too mad at it for Texas Tech in a lot of ways. But the big news for the Red Raiders going into their matchup with Kent State, and we won't know if Behren Morton's going to play probably until Saturday morning. Again, kickoff is at 11 a.m., and it's on TNT, people. You can watch the game on TNT. We're not going to know if Behren Morton is playing probably until Saturday morning. Maybe we get a report Friday night. We'll find out. But as of right now, QB1 Behren Morton is questionable with a leg injury to play in week number 2 against the Kent State Golden Flashes, a game where Texas Tech, once again, is heavy favorites. Would not be the end of the world if Will Hammond started. That being said, I personally, if Behren Morton is even remotely close to 100%, want to see him play. Maybe that's a change of heart for me earlier in the week, but I think I want to see Behren Morton play just from the standpoint of getting those live in-game reps, making sure Texas Tech is in a good spot in terms of a rhythm on the offensive side of the football. Going into Oregon State, they can build upon that and then full steam ahead when Big 12 play starts here in 2 weeks, where they will head out west to Salt Lake City and face off against a really, really formidable team in the Utah Utes. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Once again, a sincere thank you to the over 12,500 of you that have subscribed to the channel. Truly means the world that y'all would listen to me yap about the Red Raiders. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. I know y'all are subscribed. Hopefully y'all enjoy the channel. Best way to help support it outside of subscribing is obviously liking the video and leave a comment down below. Let me know if you think Behren Morton should play on Saturday. Like, if he's not 100%, I'm not saying play him there, but if he's close to 100% as you could possibly get, okay. Like, you got to play him at that point, at least in my opinion. But let me know if I'm off base there down in the comments below. And again, best way to help support the channel, like the video and hit that subscribe button. I know 42% of y'all don't subscribe, so calling y'all out there. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. I'm RC Maxfield for the Red and Black Report, reminding you, as always, stay safe in Rec 'em Tech.